Hey, Mike Healy here, and I'm going to give you an iBoomerang review. And what I want to tell you is this is not clickbait. This is not like a bunch of the other videos are out there, and you should be cautious about that when they put those things in there, that more than likely they're not in the business. They're just trying to sell you online systems. I'm all good with it. I understand it. Congratulations. There are a few people in there. I know there's a guy, Steve, he's doing a great job out there, and his stuff's legit. So he's in the business actually building the company, as well as myself. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you is this probably is my one of my favorite interviews I ever did. Actually, definitely about the company. Is I had a couple that called me, said they wanted more information, and then I did a Zoom video with them. The conference, we basically did a conference. Now this is long. This is almost an hour long. It's going to be about an hour long. But I really believe that they asked the perfect questions that because they have experience in networking. They're a great couple. They're family oriented, that kind of thing. And I really do believe that I was able to give them the advice and the answer to the questions that you're probably asking yourself if this is something I should do. I'm telling you this, that at the end of this video, if you watch this full thing and this is not for you, you've pretty much done a good amount of due diligence, okay? I don't sugarcoat anything. I lay out exactly the plan, the strategies, and it's not hypey or anything like that. It's a legitimate interview call, just me and them, and I happen to push the record button, and I really do, after I got done with it, I thought, man, those are some amazing questions, and I really believe that I delivered some good answers that made sense. And because we all have the same fears and frustrations. I mean, you're afraid of making a dumb decision, that you're going to look stupid again because you got in something else. But not everybody is going to make the right decisions a lot of times. And anyhow, so what I'd like you to do is, if you're serious about taking a real honest look at this thing, just hear the story, hear what I have to say in this, hear the questions that they ask, because more than likely they're going to address the same ones you have. And then if after that, get with the person that got you to take a look at this video and make a decision. Okay, so thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the interview. Thanks.
Give you my resume, sell you on anything, but I just want to get to know where we're at and why we're felt having a conversation with you, differently. Just because there's something with you that I feel you've done well in business more than anybody that I've worked with before. We were with and then, but you also go to, 2, 3 businesses over the last few years, and you go, okay, hey, what's your product now? I mean, you're dealing with a lot of these products, these oils, um, and since I hit this 51-year-old age, we do a lot of teaching. We love to give back. We love to help. We're involved with our church. We want to do so much more, and we know that there's so much within us that we can do more of. And we also are looking, I kind of listened to that call with that master distributor. I don't know who that was, but yeah, exactly. And just kind of the questions you had asked, and some of the things that kind of the levels of where people are at and their success. And it's not all about money, but at the same time, ranks right up there with oxygen, and as we know, I mean, we want to do so much more than what we can do with it. And I want to look at this and go, I didn't even tell her.
My wife says that too, by the way.
What's that?
My wife says that a lot too, by the way.
Got a lot in common then, right? So I wanted to look at it and go, this is something that I'm going to look at, and I know that just kind of poke the holes in it and go, whatever, some travel thing. But as I was watching a little bit of it, I was like, God, something that was interesting. She came home that night, and I'm like, there's something different with this interactive that I've never seen in business before. I was like, here, press this. And I'm like, dang, that's pretty cool. I'm like, if you get a system in place and you got some, I'm like, okay, now I'm going, now what? I was hoping to not be even interested in it. I was going to wait for this to keep moving. Not wait, I should say. But anyway, I'm just going to throw this out there, and I want to listen to you, because I know you've heard you're in tune with what's going on. A lot of the business going around out there. A lot of the products. And then, of course, this boomerang just came up. I'm like, what the heck's up with this boomerang thing?
So how long have you known about it, Mike?
About 2 weeks.
Really? Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Not very long.
Okay.
I got in last Saturday.
Okay. Week ago.
So like a week ago.
Okay.
So did you see the most recent video I just posted on YouTube?
Is that the one from last night?
Was
we
that the
watched?
last night, the opportunity one?
No,
Oh, cool.
I posted it this afternoon.
No, we were
yeah.
gone to church and then my mom's. No, I
Okay.
haven't.
Mm-mm.
So did you see the one that I put out where I sit and I draw stuff on the dry erase board?
With Stacy, and she was doing that. Was that like,
Yeah.
the whiteboard? Yeah.
So this is a follow-up to that
Okay.
I did. Okay. So I found out about it through Tommy
Okay.
Johnson about a little over a week ago. And then he said that he was going to go to, he kept texting me. Like Tommy sends me more texts than I know what to do. It's like, I'm like, dude, come on.
Right.
But, the thing is, I know who Holton Bugs is.
Okay.
I've followed some of his stuff. I've actually watched some of his training videos a couple times and then turned around and trained exactly like what he just trained on.
Okay.
Okay.
So, and it works. So I knew that. Holton Bugs is responsible for over $3 billion in volume through Organo Gold, which is a coffee deal.
Okay.
3 billion with a B, his organization, which I've never even heard of before.
Wow.
He had over 1 million distributors. I've been doing networking for 20 some years. Like I got attached to it in Excel. It sounded like a good idea. And then it sucked. And then I hated it. And then I tried something new.
Yeah.
And I had success. And then it went out of business. Then I did something else and then nothing happened. I got terminated. I mean, I've been terminated like 3 times. I've had months as big as 90, I think our largest month was like 92,000.
Yeah.
And I had a $52,000 week in one time.
Wow.
I had a company that in the same company I've had that kind of success. I started doing a little more due diligence because I was just not confident they were doing what they said they were doing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And turned around, I was right. And I got out of it, and I was telling people it's a scam. It's not legit. I couldn't get people to quit. I couldn't.
Really?
Yeah, I couldn't get people to quit. Now there were some other opportunities that I saw that looked incredible but for some reason I just didn't jump on board with them. And sure enough, they got shut down or things like that. So I've never really found, and I've always learned from every experience. I've always picked up something new, regardless of who my upline was or the company or what happens and stuff like that, which has brought me kind of, to where I've been able to be a consultant for companies. I've been able to, get hired out to do marketing because of some of the stuff I figured out in network marketing. I learned how to public speak because of network marketing. So there's been a lot of benefits besides, the money, right? And now obviously there's been some fluctuations. You'll have a month that's just massive and then all of a sudden it crashes down. I mean, being an entrepreneur is the most painful thing on the planet.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. So Tommy shows, yeah. So Tommy talks to me about this. He told me enough, and I talked to my wife, and I've tried to get out of networking. Like I literally have tried to get out of network marketing multiple times. I just launched an entire training series for myself. That's I put all my time of how to generate Facebook leads, how to do stuff on YouTube, how to do stuff on Google, how to make marketing funnels. And I thought that was going to be something I was going to, do full time, is market that system. And then, and I launched it. It's been great. People are getting it and the whole 9 yards, making money on it. But again, I still know all this stuff about network marketing, and I know all this other nerdy stuff that I picked up along the way. Right. And so when he started talking to me about this, I finally looked at it for a couple of minutes, and I'm like, all right, what the heck? Stacy said, that's cool. Let's, you got nothing to lose. So I joined on Sunday at 5 p.m. on a Sunday. Or I'm sorry, Saturday at 5 p.m. Sunday, I basically binge watched about 5 videos, like their Facebook Live, stuff like you probably are doing. Mm-hmm. Yep. And then Monday, I got, like I said on that video, I got in front of my dry erase board, put a plan together. It's something I'd done before. It's similar to what I had already done in life. Mm-hmm. It's some of the other stuff that I've done in the past. So I'm kind of getting a pattern here to where I've learned to brand myself as opposed to just the company all the times. Like, You'll never see me buy a business card from a company ever. Not happening. You know, so everything I put out is basically, I try to still brand around me because you just never know what's going to happen.
Right.
And so, you know, so anyhow, so here we are with this company, and the more I keep digging, the better it is getting. The communication from this thing so far has been fantastic.
Okay.
You know, I honestly thought I was on track with the way it was growing and my ability to do stuff on the internet and the leads I was getting. I mean, I was signing at least 1 or 2 reps up a day. I mean, I was killing it.
Yeah.
I had everything automated. I had the perfect Facebook ads going, Google ads, YouTube ads, all that stuff, and I was just crushing it. But at the same time, you know, I also look at what the trends are, you know, and I try to keep up to speed. I mean, I'm not a genius or anything like this stuff, and I'm not so plugged into all the network marketing, you know, ecosystem out there. I'm just, you know, I'm first and foremost, I'm a husband and a dad.
Yeah.
I'm an introvert. I like to, I mean, I would probably say that's probably accurate. I like to stay home, sit on my couch, you know, most of the time. I'd rather just go on a bike ride all day, not do anything. You know, I don't like to communicate, you know, that's just how it is. You know, Stacy, she has to force me to get out of the house a lot of times to go do stuff, get out of my, you know, I'm one of those guys that I wake up at 5 a.m. I have my coffee, I read my book, I go to the gym, I come back, I take my shower, I get to work. I mean, you know, regimen, I go to bed at 9:30, that kind of thing. Right. So it's kind of, you know, so I'm trying to do that myself, is get out of that. And then I got, you know, I got my son still lives here. My daughter still lives here. She's 20, she's 21. My youngest is 16. And then my middle son is, turns 19 in a couple days, and he goes to college just up the street. So he was here all weekend, you know what I mean? So that's kind of my priorities and stuff like that. But I do find time to do all of this stuff. Yeah. So to me, with the internet stuff, and you'll see if you watch that next YouTube video, which I'd recommend after we do this, you watch it. Sure. It's pretty interesting. I started studying internet marketing probably about 10 years ago. I started getting interested in it, right? Because I realized that it wasn't going away. It was going to get faster and faster. But then I saw this bigger and bigger divide going between internet marketers and network marketers, right? Because this is the only way you can do it. If you're on Facebook, you are wasting your time. It's not an income generating activity. Then you had these people that made these people mad. So these people were making these people, you know what I mean? So the divide got bigger and bigger. So I'm like, if I can figure out how to take these two and marry them, it's going to be, I can really build a big business. Like I can do something technical and make stuff work. So I started learning this stuff, and I have no idea why I find it so fascinating. I mean, I do get paid to do it by companies. They do hire me out to do some of this stuff. And, you know, so I made some good money on the side doing that, you know, that kind of thing. So that's a supplemental income just for doing, you know, and I've done it so often now I can put a campaign together in a day if I have to and charge somebody $5,000 to do it. Right. You know, so that being said, looking at, and I have so rabbit trailed on anything. Hopefully you're paying, you know,
I've got you following. No, absolutely.
So anyhow, so basically, if you look at the trend, the network marketing, there's things that come and go, and there's industries that pop and so on. The other thing too with the travel, I've got a good friend who I've known for 20 years who made $23 million in YTB, which was a travel company back in the day. 23 million, right? This is me, personal friends. Like, we're good friends. And I was there when YTB, I was at their headquarters when they had 582 reps in their company. And I didn't do it. Okay. He made 23 million. I did not.
Right.
You know, and at the time I probably could have, if I had gone to work, I probably could have been in the same situation. So looking at, the boomerang thing, they're brand new. We have technology that no one's ever used before. I mean, to bring on the iDecide is pretty brilliant.
Yeah.
The name Holton Bugs can recruit you people just in general, because you can point to his success and say, if you want to be successful, you follow what successful people do, right? So here's a guy that's made $1 million a month consistently. like $1.5 million a month at least for years and years and years and years of network marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The other thing too is he taps into it. I mean, just to be blunt, he taps into a different demographic. I mean, the African American community is not shy about talking about money.
Yeah.
Whereas like all the conservative white dudes and people I know, they're all hush hush, but you got bling bling over here and you got hush hush over here. Well, what if we can figure out how to marry the two?
Right.
You know, well, sure, white people got to pay bills just as well as, you know, black African American people do, and Chinese and, you know, Asian or whatever you call everybody these days.
Yeah.
So if you take that, so there's another aspect to it, right? It's going to draw the right people. I think it's going to create a good paradigm, because I've watched some guys on YouTube that are doing things that that if I have people that are of the African American community that don't relate to me, they might relate to this guy.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're getting more leaders that are diverse, I guess you could say, which is cool. The other thing we've got too is it's an international company right out of the gates.
Yeah.
Okay.
They told me, I talked to Edwin, the master distributor, and he said that right now there's at least one person in over 80 countries, different countries right now that they have signed up already.
Wow.
And the pre-launch happened, what, 5 days ago, 10 days ago?
Yeah.
6 days ago, something like that. So you're looking at that, right? So now here's my prediction.
Okay.
So what happens with a company that really starts to gain momentum is you get in first, you start making some headway, you do as much as you can to get the name out there. So people associate your name with that company. Okay? Because at first everybody's like, no. What are you in now? Oh my gosh, right? You know, here you are doing another deal. Not a problem. I get that. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt.
Yeah.
But then what happens is more and more people start talking to people. The buzz starts happening. The chirps start coming, right? Because most people make decisions based on their seventh, interaction with something. To view it for 7 times before they make a decision.
Right.
Right. I'm over the learning curve. I look at stuff and I can usually pick it out real fast.
Yeah.
So what'll happen is you're going to see, in my opinion, and I believe that everything that these guys are doing is very orchestrated. Very, very orchestrated. If you look at like the I Decide video template, right, or the template that is the interactive video demonstration, is the ultimate system to take somebody through point A to point B on their own personalized customer journey. That's real important. Yeah. They cater, the customer, the person caters their own journey through this thing, and they close themselves is basically what's going to happen. Then you got the other part. Is he got to go to the bathroom or something?
No, I want a notebook because I want to take some notes.
Okay. I'll actually, I'm recording this if you want it too, by the way.
Oh, okay, cool.
I just saw a record button, so I pushed it, so we're good. Okay.
He can still hear you.
Okay. So,
no, you're good.
Okay. So you look at the interactive, the I Decide interactive presentation. So that's going to make it easier for people to actually give a presentation and demonstrate it. Right. My wife is the most thrifty person you will ever meet. Thrifty's being polite. Mm-hmm. Like she is, like, it's just how, I don't know if it's just how she was raised or how she grew up. Like me, if I'm hungry, I will buy it and I'm done and I don't think about it. If she doesn't have a coupon for it or a code, she's not getting it.
Right.
If you buy her something as a gift and she knows that you paid too much, and she'll take it and return it and so on. I mean, the very first baby shower she ever had, she gets all these gifts and then doesn't open them for like a week. And I finally go, why haven't you opened any of this stuff? And she goes, I can take all that stuff back right now and I will have diapers for a year.
Wow.
Because they overpaid for everything, right? Right. So she goes, that right there, I just looked at it yesterday. The receipt right here says $150. Yep. I could take it back and get like $175. So she figured out how to profit on her gifts. Like, it's insane. So anyhow, so there's a point to this. So she spent today probably 3 hours on the iGo, the actual travel site, looking at, because she books all of our travel. If we go anywhere, she does all the stuff. So I couldn't tell you if it was a deal or not ever.
Right.
That's just not what I do.
Mhm.
And she was like, look, you need to, and she had to explain 3 or 4. I'm like, well, how does that work? That kind of thing. And she's like, this is a deal. This is a deal. This is a deal. This is a deal. Like every hotel she found was at minimum $100 cheaper through us. She
Really?
found marketplace stuff. She already wants to get like a group of like 18 people to go to this 30-person mansion that she found on there in some part, and I think Destin, Florida. I mean, it was incredible. Right?
Wow.
We figured it out, and we figured it out. It was like it literally came down to like a per person $50 a night
Wow.
for like a 15,000 square foot house that she
That's
found
awesome.
on there. You know, and so she found restaurants.com through the iGo already. Right up the street, she already figured out. This is crazy. She already figured out there's a restaurant right up the street. There's a really good restaurant on restaurants.com that she's going to buy a gift certificate from them, and it's going to cost her $10, and she's going to get like a $50 gift certificate.
Wow.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So that so
I'm wondering.
so product works, right? So product works, system works, all makes sense how that comes about. So now back to the kind of the growth of the company.
Mhm.
So if you've got a product that works, you're going to have people that'll be satisfied and satisfy customers. The whole boomerang concept makes sense. The fact that you can give out boomerangs and you can put a timestamp on whether they expire or not. So if somebody doesn't use it,
Mhm.
you don't lose it. Or if they do, you're great. You know, you make money on the savings. The savings is just a margin. So all it is, it's took me a long time to figure out where the money was coming from. How do you pay on savings? If savings is not an existent money, where does it come from?
Right.
Extreme Travel basically buys everything in bulk because they're one of the largest, travel companies on the planet. Right? They're massive, massive, massive. So they buy, let's say they buy in bulk a hotel for $100 because that's the inventory that's out there.
Mhm.
They buy it for a hotel for 100. All of the other travel platforms may take that margin, let's say up to 300. So they're marking it. So let's say we're using they buy it in bulk and get it at 100. The margin, the other companies, the other travel platforms get it at 300.
Mhm.
They know that they bought it at 100, and they look at all the other platforms to see what they're marking it at. They see 300. They drop a 50% margin down. They back it off 50%.
Mhm.
So the customer that buys it at the 50% sees that gap. They're happy. They're excited.
Mhm.
Right? There's 50% savings. That's where the 50% comes from. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So the 50% now is between the profit of the 100 and the 200.
Okay.
That's what goes into the comp. So it is basically the savings off of what they just showed. The person bought it, and the markup was based on what they saw. So they did save the money based on what they would have purchased anywhere else.
Okay.
So it's pretty remarkable. So now you take that aspect. So what's going to happen here with the boom thing is in the next couple of weeks, you're also going to start seeing people, because of all the momentum and the people coming in, people are going to start getting checks. Well,
Mhm.
when you get people getting checks, people get more enthusiastic, and it becomes more and more real.
Yeah.
So now the conviction level begins to go faster and faster and higher and higher. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
The other thing that I know, this is not an accident and this is planned, is they aren't going to open up the binary for placement until probably 30 to 60 days. Okay.
So it's all going to be in a waiting period?
Yes.
Like a
Right
big-
now, everybody is in a unilevel commission. Unilevel, that's where all the pay is coming out. It's just fast start unilevel commissions based on everything that's coming in. And then they open up the binary in 30 to 60 days that people will be able to go in and get placed.
Okay.
Well, if you think about this, it will be the biggest, fastest launch of a binary in the history of network marketing. Because when it goes live, you're going to have tens of thousands of people that probably got in 60 days that are now getting fed into this, into the company. Now, I'm not saying everybody's in the company power lag or anything like that, right? But people that go out and work that, there will be people who've worked it, and they're building, they're getting 10 people here, 10 people here, that kind of thing. And that's how they're structuring it. They've recruited a certain amount of people. And then some of their people have gotten people where they can only go in their own two legs from the person that starts the tree, right?
Okay.
So you'll start seeing that, and then that's going to start increasing. That's going to be an entire another income stream for people, because right now they're only getting paid money on the unilevel pay.
Okay.
So now that's going to create more and more enthusiasm and more stories, and then the fear of loss. And there's going to be plenty of people that just don't have a clue what's going on, but they see growth, they see momentum, and they're just going to start throwing their money in.
Right.
And that's going to happen. Well, then you're going to see that the culture is going to start to evolve to where you've got more and more people that are coming in, and they're going to create a good culture. I mean, Holden's class act. You know what I mean? Like he's a class act. So he's going to create the right culture. The team that they have doing all the marketing, everybody they have doing lives, the different parts of the world. I mean, we're talking world. There's a lot of people in the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's one thing for a company to launch and grow to 70,000 distributors in six to 8 months, which we had experienced, right?
Right.
It's another thing entirely to open that up in 80 different countries potentially in 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
You think start doing those numbers? Well,
Right.
what'll happen then is you'll see more and more people talking about it, and it'll blow through social media. So anybody that talked to somebody 3, 4, 5 months ago that at least built a relationship, gave them some content, didn't badger them and beg them, but just said, hey, I'm in this thing, you need to know about it. You're welcome to say no now, but you'll probably be in later. Keep me in mind. Keep me in mind. Keep me in mind. Now those people are going to probably come around, and then you'll see that go like this. You'll see that hockey stick.
Yeah.
Right.
So in my opinion, I've typically, the best success I've ever had was when I worked my butt up for 6 straight months.
Okay.
No magic number to that, but I just did whatever I could to be consistent for 6 months. And typically that launched my business. That launched a good enough business. I try to stay consistent, excuse me, with hitting the numbers on a daily basis. You know, whether it was 10 people I wanted to prospect or send out 10 text messages. But guess what we have now? We've got that I Decide. What if you went in every day and just sent out 5 invites to take a look at the thing? Like call somebody up and say, hey, I got to send you the coolest presentation I've ever seen. I don't care if you do it or not, but watch how cool this is. There's your text. Sure, send it to me, you know, and you send them one. No big, you know what I mean? So it could be like that. Well, then, you know, then if you get a little local team going, you do a hotel meeting, you start plugging people in with, you know, Facebook Lives, Zooms. Again, I've got, because of some of the ads I've got people. I had people today. Ready for this? I had people just today. I had somebody from Canada contact me, somebody from Australia, somebody from Ghana, Africa, and like a handful of people in the United States. That's never happened to me before. You know what I mean? Like that's not. I've never built an international business of any kind of with significance. So it's kind of cool to see all that.
Yeah.
You know?
So tell me, what did you do? Like what package did you do when you came in? Like
I got the $1,000 one.
you did.
Yeah,
So,
because probably one of the biggest things is that the biggest thing that most people don't realize is it grandfathers you in at the 20% commission for the binary for 12 months without having to be promoted at that level.
Okay.
So usually you make 20% on the volume on your lesser leg, right?
Right.
If you are the double, triple diamond thingy at the top of the level, I don't even know what the name is yet. I haven't got the comp plan memorized.
Okay.
But whatever that level is, you usually would have to have like 10 million in volume to get to that level. They're going to make, because it's important for the company to have stories of success as fast as possible.
Okay.
And it's not that the company needs money, but they're going by somebody coming in at 1,000. They're giving you 50 boomerangs to give out. Well, if you do the math, if you give out 50 customers and they end up using them at the average $600 in savings, you know, and you make 300, what is that? 300 times, I'm gonna grab a calculator because math is hard.
Math is good.
If the average savings is $600 divided by
50% is what your commission would be. So that's $300 in savings.
Yeah.
That's what you'd be commissioned on times 50. That's $15,000 in commissions.
Okay.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
So if I buy the big package and I give out all 50 and they use the average entire year, I just supplement my income by 15 grand on just the savings of that 600 of money that it was already going to be spent in most people's normal lives.
Right.
Okay.
Like my wife's taken 3 trips already this year and it's March.
Wow.
Going to Florida next week. She's going to
Okay.
drive down because she's taking the boys and stuff like that, and they want to stop and see her mom. But at the same time, she's also going to not only is she going to stop down there, but she's renting hotels on the way or down when she gets down there that she saved money, right? So I've saved money on that, let alone in my own savings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So people are going to do this stuff. I mean, if you think about the other thing too, what if you hooked up your church
Yeah.
with one of these things, and then they could use the things, or the church became an entity and offer travel. Like I'm going to do it with we're working on potentially doing this with our entire my other company that I own. Like I own a big commercial company,
Right.
you know. So
So
I get your wheels turning. I get your wheels turning yet?
Yeah, you know, and it's so couple things. Go ahead. You got.
I wanted to ask, how much are boomerangs after you have to purchase them?
What is it?
I heard they're going to be like less than $1 kind of thing.
Okay.
So I don't understand.
I don't know. I can't quote that.
So
Okay.
if you can get as many customers, so the boomerang thing, I don't quite understand that. So you get how many each boomerangs, but that just gives them an opportunity to get right into the portal versus a customer doesn't, because it's a free for the customers, right?
Other way around. The customer is getting a boomerang.
Okay.
Let me explain it. Okay.
Okay.
You are a TSA.
Okay.
You are a travel savings company is what
Okay.
you are. You found out that you found out that I like to travel, or I'm going on a trip to Hawaii next month. Okay. You know that. So you talk to me and say, hey, how'd you like to potentially get 3 5-star facilities for 3-star prices? Basically their motto, right?
Okay.
Well, how's that? Well, I have insider information that I can give you a back door to get better savings than you would normally find online.
Okay.
Real simple, right? How's that? Say, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a code that you can go into this one website, put it in. If you don't use it within 7 days, it's going to expire. So remember that. You send out one of these things, you can set them to where they'll expire if somebody doesn't use them. So if you gave out 50 this week, and then a month later nobody used them, and you're out 50 booms, you go, oh, this thing doesn't work. Well, put an expiration of 7 days on them, so if they don't use them, you get them back. They come back, so you can reuse them to people that are smart enough to use them. Okay. So you then give me the boomerang. So you're basically, what the whole boomerang thing is, you throw out savings and money comes back. Okay. So you set me up, you get my name, my first, last name, phone number if I want, and email address. Okay. You go in, you type it in, and that's it. And it generates the code. Then all you do is you send me an email or a text or whatever, say, go to this website link. What is it? iGo Boom or something like that.
Okay.
.com. I can't remember what it is. And then put that code in. Once I put that code in, it activates my very own personalized portal that I can now go through and shop all the stuff, the cruises, the hotels, the rental cars, the restaurants, the not Airbnbs, but whatever you call those rental properties that people do. They even have a thing in there. Stacy found it. I don't know how she finds this stuff. There's an auction thing in there. You can actually get in there and auction against people at facilities that's how they do their house that they want to just book and move it as fast as possible. Anyhow. So then if I go on there and I purchase, I'm going to see a savings. So if I buy a hotel at $200 a night because I wanted a good one, it might have been listed on all the other search engine platforms for 300.
Okay.
But the company again got it for 100. I bought it as a customer for 2, and I still saved $100 difference.
Right.
But that margin right there is what gets put into the comp plan. So 50% of that $100 or whatever it would be goes to you as a commission. The other 35% goes into the upline, the unilevel, and then the other 15% goes to the company.
Okay.
So that's how it's split up. So then you basically have the ability to give out 50 booms from $1,000 package to all those people. And then if they use those, you no matter how many times or how often or whatever, they're attached to you for life, basically.
Okay.
So if you want 1,000 customers, you need to have 1,000 boomerangs, right? That's the only way to do it.
And
So
what happens if we send one out and we put a 7-day expiration on it? Then what if they don't use it in that time? So we get it back.
You get it back, and then you can send it to somebody else.
Okay. But so how does that work for somebody? So if somebody is just a customer and they get the boomerang and they book their travel, and now it was only good for 7 days, but they booked travel. And if
No,
they
it's
want
just they have to activate their site with that code in 7 days.
in 7 days. Oh,
They don't have to book a trip in 7 days.
They just activate it.
They just activate it. You just don't want to. It's why you have an expiration on a coupon.
Yep.
right.
So
You know what I mean? I might have paid 50 grand for coupons, but if you don't use them, I could have given them to people who would have come in and shop.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So you have to put that mental expiration date into somebody's head. So there's a sense of urgency to set their boom account, their customer account up.
Okay.
If they don't, then it shows back up in your back office, and you can give it to somebody who's going to be smart enough to apply it in 7 days.
Okay.
Okay.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
So perfect. Yeah.
So, so really, so the bottom line, Mike, is that, we've been around in the industry enough. We don't have all the, by any means, answers. I've been around it for 20 years, kind of understand what we like and we don't like. And we both, the interesting thing is that we're looking, one of the things is that, okay, let's go through the people and make some phone calls. And, Tanya and I have talked about this, and I'm just going to be really upfront. It's one of the things we talked about a while back. Like, you can tell when you're interested and you really want to do something or not, or you're just going, hey, I did some work on it. It's like, okay, let's be real about it. Are we really making phone calls, or are we just wasting time? We all know that. We can all say that. Or we're actually doing the work. And the funny thing is, when we were talking just about content, it's like, I feel, and this is what I like when you do so much with systems, and you and I talked about this before, because we had been placed, and I believe it was under your daughter, and right below, and in regard to and I remember you saying to me, it's like, oh, hold on, this makes things a little bit different now, because I want to work closely with you, or we can work because I'm not way down here, because of the systems and things that you have. And I remember even just listening in conversations and going, we're not looking for anything, here, just of anything. We're willing to work hard, but we also want to, I told her last night when I knew we were talking today, I said, I really want to wrap myself around like we did. We worked really hard with, and we didn't get all the results. I mean, we really did work hard, and we put a lot of time, and that was the toughest part of our life, because we had just got married. We were like one of the first people that we were actually in 2 separate businesses, because she had one and I had one, and we got married, so we actually had 2 of them. And everyone used to use that story because nobody could do that. And then we moved up here in Michigan, and then my dad got sick, and we ended up
Buckeyes. Go Buckeyes.
Yeah. There we
Sorry.
go. Yeah.
It's a knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah. We had actually moved up here and to take care of my dad who was dying, and then we had a house that had mold and blah 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 blah, just the stuff, right? But we ended up carving this stuff all in, and we're pleased at how we were going with it. I guess the reason why I'm saying is when we were talking about this the other day is like, to be able to, how do I say this? To be able to pick up and say, hey, Joe, hey, how's it going? Haven't talked to you since the or the whatever or the whatever. It's like, oh, what you doing now? You know, it's kind of like, I believe the systems, like the way you're doing things. I guess that's why I'm excited about possibilities of maybe working together, because I'm willing to work hard. You know, I also know we all have our strengths. I believe like I love to be able to connect with people. I love always the interaction, like either this or on the phone. I love to be able to just even belly to belly, face to face, you know, or
but we also like to work from home.
and we also
we're
are very
like
much,
you,
as
you
I've
know?
gotten older, the same kind of thing. And especially like, you know, since in October, you know, when we found out with our daughter, our life has changed, you know, and not expecting, oh, you know, it's too bad. It's not that. It's just life has changed in our life because of our kids, you know. I mean, I still beat myself up on my daughter having, you know, type 1 diabetes, you know. I mean, it's going to be okay, you know. God has blessed us. We know there's a reason. We understand all this. In the meantime, I want my wife to be home more so that we can go back to our healthy lifestyle of so she can be the mom to be able to take care of more of some of these things. And, you know, we need to start, you know, like for her, $4,000. We like, you know, as soon as possible, you know, of working some of these things. And we know that that's,
Here's the thing. Here's the thing with the I Decide, right? As the word gets out and people use it,
Mm-hmm.
I believe that a system like that will work enough to help people enroll people, right?
Yeah.
But the most important thing that it's going to create is confidence that somebody can give a presentation.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody believes they can do it, they will do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing that holds people back from anything. The only reason why you're hesitant at all right now is you haven't got confidence yet.
Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm.
So you're trying to figure out what's going to be the thing. And so it's like I've learned that I have enough confidence now that I will get enough people in, if the company keeps it together, that I'll be profitable. Period.
Right.
I'll make some money, whether it's, you know, $1 million or $50.
Right.
You know, I will come out ahead one way, shape, or form.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, and in most cases, everybody that I get in typically does good if they just do something, if they apply themselves. You know what I mean? Like I have enough trainings out there that if somebody just follows the stuff that I do
Mm-hmm.
and applies it, they'll have success. The only reason that I've like out recruited most people is I just did more stuff.
Right.
Like I don't say it's typically the same thing twice. I just, what you see is what you get. You know, I don't sugarcoat a whole lot. If somebody asks me a direct question, I don't hype it up or anything.
Right.
If they say it's not for me, then I say, okay, cool. End of story. I don't need to convince anybody. There's what, 6.5, 7 billion people on the planet.
Yeah.
You know, so you just kind of move on. But you'll have, I think that with the I Decide, the platform, that system is going to allow people to have the confidence to go out and actually, it'll be simple duplication.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I just, one of the reasons I'm making those videos of the strategies that I'm putting together is one of my business partners has been telling me to document the stuff that I'm doing.
Okay.
So it's kind of me doing, I like to train, but it's also a way for me to document the thing that I'm doing. So if I need to reference it later, I'll remember it, you know, because I taught it. And I mean, I taught how that, and a lot of times when I'm teaching something, I see what somebody's saying. When I teach, it allows me to learn how to articulate. I get feedback on stuff that I put out there. You know what I mean? So it's a lot deeper than just some of the surface stuff people see. Is I like to see the kind of questions that come out. If I put something out there, what are the questions? Did I get a lot of views on a certain video? And if I did, why? You know what I mean? Compared to this one's or something like that. So it's just the way my brain thinks a lot of times. It's kind of like a game. It's like a puzzle to me to figure all this stuff out.
Yeah.
So, you know, so all that being said, I think that I think the systems, like I can, like basically if somebody asks me to do certain things, I can point them exactly what to do and how to do it. If they just do it, they do it. If they don't, they don't. Do you know what I mean? So, so I have all that, you know, and I try to automate everything, because the other thing too is
too. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
I had a guy that I signed up with in a network marketing company probably about 8 years ago that worked harder than anybody I probably have ever known, nonstop. Go, 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 go. Driving, flying, boom, 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 building a business, right? And I told him, I said, you are the perfect example of why I would never want to be a networker. And he was like, what? I go, everything you're doing, you have no lifestyle whatsoever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you have no lifestyle. I go, when it's Friday night, I will be at the football games.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
When it's Saturday, I will be at the football game.
Yep.
I do this type of business not to miss those types of things.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Where other people are like, they use it as an excuse if you don't go to an event. Like I told people, I'm like, no, I got football.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I go, I'm only going to have a limited amount of football.
Yeah.
Well, what about this? I go, it'll work itself out. So, I just think it's, as far as systems go, I can basically give people material that they can train. Now, I will tell you this is what I probably am going to do too, because I want to have an advantage. Because the thing is too with this, I'm not playing just to play this game. I'm not playing to compete. I'm playing to dominate.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big difference.
There is. I understand that.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I want to I want to offer stuff that other people don't have, they don't have. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
do.
make offerings of systems and services that they can't get anywhere else.
Yep.
Because
Right.
then that, like, not to be, it was kind of funny because my business partner he's a real tech savvy marketing guy too. So he can think 3 or 4 levels down. And he says, here's what you're doing. You're going to put about a bunch of stuff out. People are going to love it. They're going to see all the stuff that you're doing. And it's going to frustrate the people that are other leaders to the point that they can't compete and they'll stop trying and you'll end up attracting all the other people to your organization.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm like, man, it's pretty smart plan,
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, I'll just keep documenting this stuff. Because if you watch that next video, I literally give you the proof of what's happened this week.
Okay.
Like I show that I personally enrolled 20 people, how I did it with the money I spent on ads, all this stuff. I just break it down. I show the leads I got coming in each day. I broke it down, right?
Yeah.
And literally while I was recording that video, 2 more people signed up.
Okay.
And I'm not saying, and it's not duplicatable in 99% of the time, and I'm not trying to make it duplicatable, but it's just something, that I'm doing, and people are going to want to know what I did.
Right.
Well, and this is you brought in some really and I guess that's when you look at your lifestyle and the family and what's important. I mean, our kids are going by fast. I mean, that you have older kids. And like the little girl is 9 going on 10. And we want to be able to have those things, and I'm willing to work hard. But this type of industry gives us that residual, and I want to not only take that but be smart about it with working it so that we can be at the top of what we're doing as well too. You know what I mean? So
With the packages, question mark. So looking at, I didn't mean to jump in, but with the packages, you got some different ones. You start at the 49 all the way up to 1,000. So if you're looking at $1,000 packages, the creme de la creme, you had said something about the $500 package. If you say you started at the 500, can you upgrade to the 1,000, or would you just
better recommend to start off with 1,000 and just suck it up and get in?
I would recommend 1,000 only because of the 20% founders benefit of that.
Okay.
First and foremost, because if you go out and work it, that will probably pay for itself a few fold.
Okay.
Because there's a big difference between 10 and 20% in a comp plan.
Okay.
Big difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and interesting,
you're getting obviously 50 boomerangs, so you're getting more than anything else.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Extras because of that.
Okay.
And I guess that's, I'm sorry, go ahead.
The other thing, people typically are not going to cross a bridge you aren't willing to cross.
Correct.
So you shouldn't necessarily think that somebody, if I told you that I only joined for the 49, but you should do the 1,000.
Correct. I got that. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Follow
So
you what you do.
that doesn't typically fly either. So I just saw the benefit of the Founders Club thing, the 50 boomerangs, and then with that big package, you actually get more benefits in your own iGo platform than you do in the other positions as well. Because each one's not equal as far as just travel specific to begin with.
Yeah. I saw that there were added like benefits and stuff. Is
Right.
it like additional savings? Is that on your?
Yeah, well, there's different things that you can tap into because you have the bigger, more robust plot package. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Well, and I guess we want to be doing something different, and I guess we want to be doing
signed up.
Huh?
You're not signed up?
No.
We haven't.
We didn't sign up with anybody. No.
Okay. I don't know why I thought you were already enrolled. I'm sorry.
No, we're looking. I actually one of those guys that I do my own research, and it's kind of like people. I find things, but then all of a sudden I saw this, and I believe things happen for a reason. I saw your thing, and I'm like holding bugs. I'm like, wait a second. And somebody asks you a question, and it's like, well, I do it for my abs, and the rest is for whatever. And then, then I saw a comment that Tommy had, just about a week ago, and it's like, when you're on Facebook, you read between the lines, and you see this, like, when you hit a leader at this max, what do you do? Anyway, no, we're not, Mike. And so that's what this is kind of where a crossroad, where the rubber meets the road. I really, I guess, I can almost feel emotional, just where we're at in our life and what we want to do. And I want my wife to be home with my kids more. And we teach, we give what we can and do what we can, but we know that there's a lot more and a lot more. We want to do more mission trips. We want to do more. There's so much stuff we want to do. And it's like, I know what you've done, and I'm not being from anybody else on doing things. I know I want to be led by, and he's done really well with what he's doing, but I also know that it's a different system in how you do things. And I know how we've been doing things over the last few companies, over the last 2-3 years. We've kind of been, getting back and forth. He and I think I signed up, and I want to break that, whatever. And I believe that we got to look at ourselves on what we're doing, but also looking at being able to maximize what's available and how to use it in a way that we're not doing, all these long, how am I trying to say, when we talked about this last night, just,
honestly, we just want to know from your networking experience going, hey, if you're going to stick your money in a business right now, if we're going to stick in $1,000, obviously you put $1,000 in, so you felt like it was worth it. But again, it's kind of the guru of the system. So you know that you're going to come ahead somewhere, somehow, but obviously, the history of this guy, that we know the travel industry now. So obviously this is a good place to kind of put your eggs in a basket right now. I guess that's kind of what we're looking at and going, okay, we're in upper peninsula of Michigan, don't get me wrong. We know people all around the United States and the world, and
we can talk to all these people about it at the same time. Let's maximize the best we can. And whether it's working through different funnels or working through different systems and stuff on top of those conversations, not having the automated part of it as well, along with that personal thing. I like that too, but I want to do more than that. Does that make any sense at all? Kind of like.
No, you just, your learning lid is here. Here's your learning lid and you've hit it.
I think so.
Right? Okay, so
that's where we want to go. When I heard your conversation, Mike, with I'm sorry to interrupt.
Here's what I'm probably going to do also is recently, I don't know if you saw it, I launched these training things that I'd mentioned earlier. The Facebook ads, YouTube ads, Google ads, that stuff, right? Anybody that comes in at the $1,000 package, I'm going to give a free copy of that. Which normally, if you buy each one of those, they're $4.95 a piece.
Okay.
The bundle of them I sell for $9.97.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
So I'm going to anybody that comes in at the 1,000, I'm actually going to give that to them.
Okay.
And what you can do is you can go through at your own pace. There's like 40 videos in there.
Okay.
So you go in and you do that kind of thing. because that too is if somebody invests that kind of money. Sorry, I gotta switch. Would you get me a glass of water, please? If you if somebody invests that kind of money, I know they're serious. You know what I mean? You already raised your hand and said, hey, I want to do this thing in a big way. So I'm doing that. That's the kind of thing that I'm, going to try to use as an incentive as well to recruit more people. Plain and simple. But I think too, the other thing too is I'm going to learn. I believe the money is going to be in the customers.
Okay.
Okay. The long term confident money. Because here's all you need to do. Here's how you convince a customer. You convince a customer with one good quality experience, regardless of the level. So if you can get somebody to just go save $100 or $50 on your platform, they'll be using that customer platform for life, probably.
Yeah.
So it's not about necessarily going out and trying to get somebody to, do $10,000 worth of booking. You got to get them just to try that one thing.
Yeah.
You're going, I'm going up to see my kids, I got to go out of town. Where are you going? Hey, go try this hotel out there. If they save $50, they're happy as all get out and they're going to keep doing it. Right. They know that's their go-to place.
Yeah.
Bigger picture, back to what your app thing you were talking about is.
But
ultimately, the customer acquisition and the amount of customers that we could potentially bring on to the Boomerang platform, that they will eventually, that the bigger picture is, they will eventually figure out how to monetize with other things, will be probably as big as travel eventually. So that's kind of the thing.
Not going to sit on something for 6 months. We want to start moving forward, and I sure wasn't thinking it'd be an iBoomerang, something like But
Tell me about it. I had a completely different idea where my direction was going 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, you have questions or stuff. I mean, does this making sense where we're at? As far as
you're hesitant and you don't want to look dumb again.
I think we just want to find something that works, and then
we can sink our teeth in.
Here's the thing: we all do.
Yeah.
We all want to find something that doesn't work, but we don't know.
Yeah.
That's part of life. That's part of. There are no guarantees. There's no.
You bet.
Thing. That's what sucks half the time is you just don't know. If there was a guarantee, then everybody'd be in it.
Right.
And then so it's like. Let me ask you this. What do you have to lose?
Right.